At first glance, there's nothing romantic about the Quad Cities. I mean, sure, it's got the majesty of the mighty Mississippi, but even its muddy brown water can be a little off-putting. But this area, it very much embodies the idea of the river. It might not have the beauty of white sand and blue water, and in fact, it probably appears very mundane and boring in comparison to the coastal beaches. But every day, that river surges on. It keeps flowing. It keeps doing what it's supposed to do. It keeps bringing life into this area. And that very much represents the people of the Quad Cities. Our lives might not be romantic, but we are grinding it out. We keep rolling no matter what. We keep bringing life to the area. The Midwest has its disadvantages, the weather for one, but there still remains this resilient group of people working their tails off to put food on the table. In the Midwest, we also tend to be way behind on the trends. I don't know, maybe it's a generational thing, and that's okay. I mean, I'd like to think that years ago in the Midwest, people were too busy with their heads down, working in the fields, working hard on the farm. So how could they pay attention to all the latest trends? East Coast, West Coast, all of their trends find their way here, usually after a few years. But all of that considered, there is one thing we have. And it's actually not the whole Midwest, but it's the Quad Cities specifically. And we have this super unique sort of pizza. Of course, in New York and Chicago, they have their styles. But in the QC, we have our own too. And all of that pizza started off at Frank's in Silvis in 1955, 60 years ago. And so we thought if we're gonna start a pizza website for the Quad Cities, we'd be doing the Quad Cities a disservice if we didn't start it with Frank's Pizza.
Not to be cheesy, but Frank's not only created history by making a totally new type of pizza, but they're a slice of history. It's like you walk into a time machine. Like, my cell phone didn't even work when we were in there. There were red, sparkly vinyl chairs and laminate tables, and there are waitresses there that have been waiting tables since they bought the tables. When we went to Frank's, we decided to order an Italian beef sandwich, some fried chicken, a small pizza, and get a couple brews. The Italian beef sandwich was probably 2.5 pounds of meat on this fresh bun with grilled peppers and onions. It was definitely a mouthful. So Frank's has this fried chicken, and it's not anything special, but it is perfect. It's juicy, it's crispy. You can tell it's been in a pressure cooker that's just cooked thousands of chickens. It's delicious. The pizza is like just classic QC style pizza. If you're a QC style pizza fan, you might be used to a chewy, really malty crust like that of Harris or Clint's. Frank's crust is a little more light and buttery.
When you go to Frank's, you might not have your world changed or anything dramatic like that. But if you look around, you'll realize that you're part of something bigger than yourself. You're part of history, really. 60 years of pizza. And you realize you're part of the Quad Cities and what makes the Quad Cities great. You know, we don't have anything fancy maybe here in the Quad Cities, but you give us some weird cut pizza and some delicious fried chicken, and we'll keep your doors open for 60 years.